Welcome to the shed. And in this video I'm going to explain why after 6 months I've decided to retire my GMAC Concept Evo modular helmet, flip front, in favour of an LS2 Advant X helmet. So let's go in the house, make a coffee, and I'll explain everything. So welcome to the kitchen. As I said earlier, I just want to talk about my choice of helmets. Now, 6 months ago when I returned to motorcycles, I bought this Evo. It's a GMAC E Concept Evo modular helmet, flip front. And it's been great, but I have had two issues with it. Well, two fairly serious issues. The first one was the chin bar came off in my hand. Now that sounds worse than it is. I'd been riding all day and I'd been on gravel roads, and the retaining screw on each side had backed out, and there's enough space underneath the visor so it backs out all the way. So it was in the locked position while I was riding, but when I got back to the campsite and I lifted the chin bar up, it came away in my hands. Job of a couple of moments to just put the screws back in and tighten them up. However, it does knock your confidence a little bit. It's been great ever since. I returned it to the retailer I bought it from because I was concerned about it, only to find out that it's actually quite common on a number of modular helmets that use this system where it's just a bolt that holds the hinge on. And they just fix it by putting a bit of Loctite on the threads of the screw when they put it back in. Really, that's something that the manufacturer should think about doing, putting that Loctite on to save that happening. What was the other issue I had with it? The drop down shades visor, the drop down visor, it had stopped working properly. It all happened about the same time, actually, on the same trip. It would slowly drop down a little bit and wouldn't stay up, but when you try to deploy it, it wouldn't come all the way down either. And that's because there's a thin wire in a plastic sleeve that runs from the slide mechanism on the side of the helmet to the actual visor itself, and that wasn't working correctly. Apparently, again, another common fault, they sometimes bend if people push the visors up or pull them down manually. That can put a little kink in the wire and it doesn't like to work after that. But in this instance, it just needed a bit of lubrication, so they lubricated it and it's been working fine. So since then, and this has happened a couple of months ago, about 2 months ago, it's been fine, not an issue with it. But what I did notice about having a modular helmet, because this is the first modular helmet I've ever had, I actually prefer riding with the chin bar up in the open position when I'm going slow. So when I'm on gravel tracks, I like to ride with it up. When I'm in car parks, I like to open it up, and mainly because I'm more aware of what's going on. There's a much better vision with the chin bar out the way. So I do like having the option to have an open face helmet. However, this one, you can't ride it legally on the roads with the chin bar up. It doesn't lock up. The new models of this, there's a switch on the side and you can lock it open so you can ride with it. But this helmet's not tested to ride in the open configuration, so therefore I don't. So I started looking at new helmets, and that brings us round to this video. I've now replaced this helmet. Still need to take my comms off it, but that's a job for later. I've replaced that helmet with a new helmet. And the new helmet is made by LS2. And it is the Advant X Helmet. I saw this helmet in the store, and I'll put a link in the description to where I bought it from, because they've been great. The retailer I've been using for all of my bike gear have been brilliant, because not only did I have an issue with the helmet, I also have had issues recently, since the weather's changed and it's now wet, with the adventure boots I bought, and they were RST Adventure X boots. And I'm going to make another video about those boots, because I'm now onto my third pair, but I'll make a video about that later. I'm waiting to see how this third pair work or don't work, so I need to ride them a few times in the wet. But yes, getting back to the retailer, they've been absolutely brilliant. As I say, there'll be a link in the description for them, so if you're in the Teesside area, I've got no problem recommending these retailers. They've been brilliant. Nothing's been too much. They've always taken my concerns seriously. So anyway, back to the helmet. So I tried on an Advant X helmet in the store, and it was in the glossy white. They just had the flat colours in various sizes, so people could try them on. But I didn't really want the white. So I had a look online at the different colours, and then I had a look on YouTube for reviews of this helmet, and I did like it. And you do tend to get quite a lot for your money. Now, the base model is £300, and the fancy colours are £330 within a few pennies. So you spend an extra £30 for getting anything but the base colour. So having tried it on and deciding it fitted and I liked it, and I ummed and ahed about it, because to me £300 is a lot of money, especially as I've got a helmet that works. But I did really want that open face functionality. So I had a look at all the different colours, and the one I seemed to like, and it's the one I bought, it's called Jeans. Don't ask me why they've called it Jeans, but they have. But online, and even on their website it shows more of a matte finish with little lines on. But one of the videos and some of the photographs I saw online showed a glossy finished helmet, which had more of a brushed gunmetal-y type look to it. And I quite liked that, but the store couldn't tell me what the actual... They only had the same images I was able to pull up, and nobody in the store had seen one. In fact, I hadn't managed to find anyone that had actually seen one in this colour. But they said they'd order me one in so I could have a look and try it on, no obligation, because if they didn't want it, they could send it back to the retailer, to their supplier anyway. So they ordered it in, I had a look, and I snapped the hands off. I decided I did like that colour and I wanted it. So this is it, the LS2 Advent X in the jeans colour scheme. So what I'll do now, I'll unpack it, but I might have to change the camera position so you can get a better look. So we'll have a look in the box, and I'll show you what you actually get for your £330. So let's have a look at the box. So we have some additional reflectors. These are some stickers you can stick on the helmet should you wish to. Information card. A smoked visor. A helmet donut. A little bag. There's an inflatable donut to sit your helmet on. A Torx style Allen wrench to take the plates off the side of the helmet so you can get at the mechanism. And a bag with a rucksack in. One last thing in the box is a pin lock max that comes with. So you get a pin lock for your pin lock ready visor and a rucksack to carry your helmet in. Could be handy if you haven't got anywhere to leave your helmet on your bike and you want to walk around wherever you're visiting. Inside the rucksack, the helmet and its own protective cover. And the helmet itself. I'll take some shots of the helmet, so we're going to have a close look later on, but I'll just go through it. This is the jeans colour scheme and it has a glossy finish and it looks as though the helmet's had wear. Yeah, it looks as though it's been scuffed and worn through time, but it hasn't. It's just the colour scheme. But it's nice. It's like a gunmetal grey. The visor on this threw me at first. The catch is in the middle at the top, but it's a nice big visor. There's a vent on the top. Push it back to open it, bring it forward to close it. They're not vents on the side, it's just a styling. There's a vent on the chin bar up to close and down to open. So yeah, and there's a vent on the back, up to close, down to open. It's an exhaust, I suppose. It does have facility at the back underneath the padding, underneath there, for some custom comms later on, but I don't think they're out at the minute. And that Allen wrench is for getting in here should you wish to take this off for some reason. I don't know why you would, but maybe you need to. And there you go, in the open. Now the visor pops up when you open it, but it doesn't pop back down when you close it. It's not a problem. And again, it's got the side lever to operate the shades. That's actually quite positive. It's more positive than the GMAC. Yeah, I quite like that. And it's got a nice plush finish in the side. And it's a very comfortable helmet. So that's the new LS2. As I say, there's reviews on the helmet online, but this is just so you can have a look at the colour scheme, because I couldn't find anywhere online that had a decent look at the helmet. So let's see if we can get a closer look at the texture of that helmet. So you can see, apparently it goes from 2XS, extra small, to 4XL. Never seen a 4XL one, but just have a look at the finish. And it is a glossy finish, apart from where I've been smudging it with my grubby hands. So that's the this is the LS2 Advant X in the jeans colour scheme. And as I say, it's not a full review, it's just a look at the colour scheme and the helmet and what you get in the box. So a quick look of what you get in the box. You've got the helmet, size and colour of your choice. To the left of the helmet you've got your helmet donut, which is just an inflatable ring that you can sit your helmet on when you're working on it. There's the tool to take the visor off. There's a pin lock insert, some reflectors, the protective cover at the back, a rucksack in desert camo to carry your helmet, and a smoked visor. This all comes for your £330. And I've got to say, I find this a very comfortable helmet. So, I'll let you know in some time how it wears, but at the moment, I'm very pleased with this purchase. So that's my new purchase, the LS2 Advant X in the jeans colour scheme, and I've got to say I'm very happy with the fit and finish and the fit of the helmet. I like it. Again, I'm not saying anybody else will like it. You need to go and find one, try it on. But I'm quite surprised with what comes with it for the price. I did try on another flip over helmet. I won't name, make and model, but although it fit, it didn't fit quite as nicely as this, and the price was very similar, but you get more for your money with this one as well. But more importantly, this one fit just that little bit better, and it was lighter. The weight on your head was lighter, so yeah, I've opted for this one. But I'm not going to rubbish the other one, because helmets, like everything else, it's a personal choice. I like this one. There you go, job done. I'm not too sure if I'll ever use a smoked visor, just in case I'm riding in the dark, and this time of year you're going to be riding in the dark every now and again, and I really don't want that on. I've got the tinted drop down visor anyway. Yeah, I suppose if you live in a much warmer, brighter climate, somewhere closer to the equator, down in the Mediterranean or in sunny California or wherever, where you get a lot of bright sunlight, then maybe that and the drop down tinted visor would be of benefit. But for me here in the UK, I don't think that's really, unless you're going for the look, unless you like being all smoked out and whatnot. But on day-to-day rising, I think that's going to be a hazard at night, especially for old eyes. So I'm sticking with the clear one, the drop down one, and if it is bright, too bright, even with the drop down visor, I've got the option of putting sunglasses on, because I can take them off when it starts to get dark. I'm waffling. I like the helmet. I like the fact that you get a little rucksack to carry it about, the little inflatable donut. I mean, they're not expensive things that they give you with it, like the inflatable helmet donut. It's just a little inflatable tube. It's like a little neck cushion. You could probably use a neck cushion, but it's nice that it's there, I suppose. You've got the soft cover for it. You tend to get them as standard with every helmet anyway, but it's a nice quality one. The rucksack was a nice touch. The reflectors are a nice touch, because I put reflectors on my other helmet. They're black until the light hits them when they shine white, so you don't really notice them. I like the fact that it comes with the pin lock insert in the box, so you don't have to remember to buy one. Yeah, overall very pleased with my purchase. I'll feed back later on in a few months how I'm getting on with the helmet, because as I said, I was very happy with the GMAC helmet until the chin bar came off in my hand. But that could be easily fixed in the factory if GMAC would actually put a bit of thread lock on the threads when they assemble the helmet in the first place. But as the guy in the shop said, it's not just the GMAC helmets that happens to. he pulled out a Shoei helmet which has the same type of mounting pins, and he says that can happen on them as well, and it has done in the past. But there you go, such is life, threads can become loose. But anyway, I wanted a different helmet, and I've now got a different helmet. Moving on, I'll keep that as a spare. I think that's it for helmets at the moment. I am going to make a video, as I said earlier, about the other piece of kit I've had issues with, and they're my LS2 Advant X waterproof boots. They weren't waterproof. They did start falling apart. They were exchanged, even though they were 6 months old. 6 months old, but only ridden for 1,800 miles. And they were falling apart. Well, they weren't falling apart. The leather stitching was failing across the top of the boot, and they were letting in water. It wasn't funny how much water they were letting in. A pair of leather boots that weren't waterproof would have let less water in. But RST stepped up, gave me a replacement set of boots without any arguments whatsoever. I took them back to the retailer. The retailer sent them back, and RST sent out a replacement pair. However, there was a fault with the replacement pair. One of the sole on the left boot hadn't been moulded on properly, and it was twisted. But again, the retailer just swapped them straight out. Here's another pair of boots, we'll send them back. So that was brilliant. But I've now got to wear them for some time, for the next few months in the wet. And then I'll report back on whether or not I need to change my boots altogether. If I do, I'll be looking for another manufacturer, because obviously if I've had 3 pairs of RST boots and they've all failed, what does that say about RST boots? Now, I've heard nothing but good reports about the RST boots, but I don't know what to say. I'll make a video about the boots in total. I'll make a video about the boots at some point when I know a bit more, when I've had a bit more wear out of these new ones and seen what they're like. Right then. Also on this video, there's a link to a Just Giving page. The reason for that, here in Stockton, each Christmas, or in the run up to Christmas, there's a motorcycle ride. It's called the Boundary 500. And this year, my daughter's persuaded me to take part in it. So it's to raise funds for a local baby hospice, Zoe's Place. So there's a link to my Just Giving page, where if you want to chuck £1 or 2 into that, be very grateful. And as it goes to a good cause, Zoe's Place Baby Hospice. So there you go, it's Christmas. What can I say? Except, if I don't see you again, Merry Christmas. Ta-ra for now.